Welcome back. It's Wakey Time. Demons, Part 2. It is definitely colder outside than it is in here. Where were we? Age of Enlightenment. In the 16th to early 17th centuries, the idea, inherited from Renaissance magic and occultism, John Dee, that demonic forces could be conjured and controlled may have paved the way for the development of modern sciences. In Hermetic and Kabbalist philosophy, demons could be subjugated. This shaped the idea that humans can control their social environment and their surrounding natural forces. Thoughts. Controlling their thoughts. The Age of Enlightenment conceptualizes humans as autonomous individuals, mostly independent from external invisible forces, such as demons or gods ruling over human fate. While in the pre-modern period, spirits and demons were assigned to various natural phenomena, the rationalistic school of thought increasingly rejected the attribution of demons to unknown causes. The rejection of demons as a form of superstition was also welcomed by religious perspective, considered to be a removal of remaining pagan beliefs. According to, I'm going to get this wrong, Walter Hanegraaff, demons are pagan beliefs removed by the Age of Enlightenment. Interesting. A lot of people hanging on to that. The rejection of demons as the cause of natural events also contributed to the association of demons with delusions and merely mental phenomena. For example, the notion that demons could possess an individual stripped the individual away from their personhood and was at odds with modern Western philosophy. The most prominent ones, such as the American dream and capitalism, imply the belief that everyone is responsible for their own fate and not at the mercy of external forces, and you can be. Thus has no room left for demons and demonic possessions. The concept of demons has nevertheless not disappeared from the public, permeating media, arts, and psychology, because the powers that run the world do not want you to gain control over yourself and your own fate. Which is why they call people like me weird. And the word weird comes from W-Y-R-D, which means to control one's destiny. Judaism. See also Dybbuk and Samael. There are differing opinions in Judaism about the existence or non-existence of demons. Shedim or Searim. Some rabbinic scholars assert that demons have existed in Talmudic times, but do not exist regularly in present. It doesn't make any sense. When prophecy, divine presence, and divine inspiration gradually decreased. Wait, what? When prophecy, divine presence, and divine inspiration gradually decreased, the demonic powers of impurity have become correspondingly weak. Also, it says too. But that is an interesting statement. Interesting. When prophecy, divine presence, and divine inspiration gradually decreased, The demonic powers of impurity have become correspondingly weak also. Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew Bible mentions two classes of demonic spirits, the Se'irim and the Shedim. The word Shedim, singular shed or shade, Shedd, appears in two places in the Hebrew Bible. The Se'irim, singular Sa'ir, male goat, are mentioned once in Leviticus, probably a recollection of Assyrian demons in the shape of goats. They might be a metaphorical symbol for life-threatening animals such as hyenas, ostriches, and jackals. The Sheddim, however, are not pagan demigods or demons per se, but the foreign gods themselves. They are evil insofar that they are not affiliated with the Jewish deity. These entities appear in a scriptural context of animal or child sacrifice to non-existent false gods. From stories that are not literal. They're not literal stories. Various diseases and ailments were ascribed to demons, particularly those affecting the brain, and those of internal nature. Because your thoughts and your emotions and your beliefs will make you sick. Especially if you believe that you're sick. Examples include catalepsy, headache, epilepsy, and nightmares. There also existed a demon of blindness, shabrari, dazzling glare. Sounds like ocular aura migraines, which I get. Who rested on uncovered water at night and blinded those who drank from it. Demons supposedly entered the body and caused the disease, thoughts, while overwhelming or seizing the victim. To cure such diseases, it was necessary to draw out the evil demons by certain incantations and talismanic performances, at which the Essenes, Paul's group, the Essenes excelled. Josephus, who spoke of demons as spirits of the wicked, which enter into men that are alive and kill them, but which could be driven out by a certain root. The Essenes drawing out evil demons by certain incantations because they're Buddhists. Paul and his people were Buddhists. It's about meditation and going to know thought, driving out the demons. Josephus, who spoke of demons as spirits of the wicked, which enter into men that are alive and kill them, but which could be driven out by a certain root, witnessed such a performance in the presence of the Emperor Vespasian, and ascribed its origin to King Solomon again. In mythology, it's all mythology. There were few defenses against Babylonian demons. The mythical mace Sharur had the power to slay demons such as Asag, a legendary Galu, or Edimu of hideous strength. Talmudic tradition in Midrashim. In the Jerusalem Talmud, notions of Sheddim, demons or spirits, are almost unknown or occur only very rarely. Whereas in the Babylonian Talmud, there are many references to Sheddim and magical incantations. The existence of Sheddim in general was not questioned by most of the Babylonian Talmudists. As a consequence of the rise of the influence of the Babylonian Talmud over that of the Jerusalem Talmud, late rabbis in general took as fact the existence of Sheddim. nor did most of the medieval thinkers question their reality. However, rationalists like Maimonides and Saadia Gaon, however you pronounce that, Gaon, and others explicitly denied their existence and completely rejected concepts of demons, evil spirits, negative spiritual influences, attaching and possessing spirits. They thought the essential teaching about Shadim and similar spirits is that they should not be an object of worship, not a reality to be acknowledged or feared. Their point of view eventually became mainstream Jewish understanding. Folks, if you believe something, then it's real. If you don't believe something, it's not. This is the power you hold. This is why people kept going back and forth, and they weren't grasping why or how they had this power. The opinion of some authors is not clear. Abraham ibn Ezra states that insane people can see the image of Seirim when they go astray and ascribe them powers independent from God. It is not clear from his work if he considered these images of Seirim as manifestations of actual spirits or merely delusions. Despite academic consensus, rabbis disputed that Maimonides denied the existence of demons entirely. He would only dispute the existence of demons in his own lifetime, but not that demons had existed once. Where'd they go? Ibn Zarza likewise argues that demons, Seirim, are a manifestation of insanity. He asserts that a weak intellect could not discern reality from imagination. Your imagination becomes reality. So you can't discern reality from imagination. And hence, erroneously believes in the reality of demons and satans. Erroneously is spelled wrong. Occasionally, an angel is called Satan in the Babylon Talmud, but satans do not refer to demons as they remain at the service of God. A satans are thoughts. The Satan, it always has been. Stand not in the, this is a quote. So occasionally an angel is called Satan in the Babylon Talmud, but Satans do not refer to demons as they remain at the service of God. Stand not in the way of an ox, meditation, when coming from the pasture, for Satan dances between his horns. Thoughts. Ibn Zarza, however, argues that Satan belongs to the demons Seirim. Seirim. Demons are called goats, as it says, animal nature, And they shall no more offer their sacrifices to the Searim satyrs. Leviticus 17:7, since they saw fit to compare demons to them more than to other animals. The nature of the goat is to cause blight and vast damage, so great that they called the goat the angel of death. And the angel of death is Satan. And it is said, Resh Lakish said, as it is said, Resh Lakish said, Satan, the angel of death, and the evil instinct are all one. Hence, it is proper to call them Searim. Goats. Agadic tales from the Persian tradition describe the Shedim, the Mazakim, harmers, and the Ruhin spirits. These were also Lilin, night spirits, Telain, shade or evening spirits, Tihariri, midday spirits, and Zafriri, morning spirits, as well as the demons that bring famine and such as cause storm and earthquake. According to some Agadic stories, demons were under the dominion of a king or chief, usually Asmodai. And we shall go find some Agadic tales, because that sounds interesting. And more about these goats. Which are probably just describing our animal nature, and these people are trying to make sense of it without understanding what these stories are about. Kabbalah. In Kabbalah, demons are regarded as a necessary part of the divine emanation in the material world, and a byproduct of human sin. Klipoth. After they are created, they assume an existence on their own. Thoughts. Demons would attach themselves to the sinner and start to multiply as an act of self-preservation. Thoughts. Medieval Kabbalists characterized such demons as punishing angels of light of destruction. They are subject to the divine will and do not act independently. Other demonic entities, such as the Shedim, might be considered benevolent. Oh, I thought they were malevolent. The Zohar classifies them as those who are like humans and submit to the Torah, and those who have no fear of God and are like animals. Second Temple Judaism. See also apotropaic magic. Apotropaic magic. The sources of demonic influence were thought to originate from the Watchers or Nephilim, who are first mentioned in Genesis 6 and are the focus of 1 Enoch chapters 1 through 16, and also in Jubilees 10, which are all stories about our consciousness. The Nephilim were seen as the source of the sin and evil on earth because they were referenced in Genesis 6:4 before the story of the flood. Meditation. In Genesis 6:5, God sees evil in the hearts of men. Ethiopic Enoch refers to Genesis 6:4-5 and provides further description of the story, connecting the Nephilim to the corruption of humans. Thoughts. According to the book of Enoch, sin originates when angels descend from heaven and fornicate with women. Women are emotions. Thoughts from the cosmos fornicate, mix together, mate with your emotions, and give birth to what? Demons. birthing giant problems in your mind. The book of Enoch shows that these fallen angels can lead humans to sin through direct interaction or through providing forbidden knowledge. Don't want that. Most scholars understand the text to mean that demons originate from the evil spirits of the deceased giants, cursed by God to wander the earth. Dale Martin disagrees with this interpretation, arguing that the ghosts of the Nephilim are distinct. The evil spirits would make the people sacrifice to the demons, but they were not demons themselves. The spirits are stated in Enoch to corrupt, fall, be excited, and fall upon the earth and cause sorrow. Christianity conceptualizes demons as occasionally visible. Evil beings sowing destruction in the world and disguising themselves as pagan gods. This sounds like interdimensional alien play. According to Christian theology, demons are fallen angels. You mean fallen angels of light? Thoughts? They are believed to have been created as good angels who then turned evil by joining Lucifer in his rebellion against God. They're mixing stories because the Lucifer part of the story, which isn't even in the stories, has to do with astrology and the sun being in Leo. Maybe there is something to when the sun enters autumn and goes into winter, it corrupts those messages, those angles of light. It corrupts the photons coming into your mind, which is another reason why you need to gain control of yourself. This mythology, what? All right, 1 point for Wikipedia. This mythology is not shared by Judaism or found as such in the New Testament. The story of fallen angels is a result of interpretation of different biblical passages in the 2nd and 3rd century. Augustine of Hippo, 5th century, established the position that demons are spirits, angels, who turn away from God. For Western demonology and for the Catholic Church, they cannot turn from God until they enter your mind and you corrupt them. Old Testament. The existence of demons as inherently malicious spirits within Old Testamental text is absent. Though there are evil spirits sent by Yahweh, I am that I am, they can hardly be called demons since they serve and do not oppose the governing deity. First, then, the Hebrew Bible was translated into Greek. The gods of other nations were merged into a single category of demons, daemones, with implied negativity. The stories were changed through translation. The Greek daemons were associated with demi-divine entities, deities, illnesses, and fortune-telling. The Jewish translators rendered them all as demons, depicting their power as nullified, comparable to the description of Shedim in the Tanakh. Although all these supernatural powers were translated, none were angels, despite sharing a similar function to that of the Greek daemon. This established a dualism between the angels on God's side and negatively evaluated demons of pagan origin. Oh, they're killing me. The relationship to the Godhead became the main difference between angels and demons, not their degree of benevolence. Both angels and demons might be fierce and terrifying. However, the angels act always at the service of the high God of the Israelites. Do they? Differing from the pagan demons who represent the powers of foreign deities. What they mean by foreign deities is other people's belief systems. It's bigotry. The Septuagint refers to evil spirits as demons, daemon, Greek. New Testament. Through the New Testament, demons appear 55 times and 46 times in reference to demonic possession or exorcisms. Some Old English Bible translations, such as King James Version, do not have the word demon in their vocabulary and translate it as devil. As adversaries of Jesus, demons are not morally ambivalent spirits, but evil causes of misery, suffering, and death. They are not tempters, but the cause of pain, suffering, and maladies, both physical and mental, because of their thoughts. Temptation is reserved for the devil only. Unlike spirits in pagan beliefs, demons are not intermediary spirits who must be sacrificed for the appeasement of a deity. Possession also shows no trace of positivity, contrary to some pagan depictions of spirit possession. They are explicitly said to be ruled by the devil or Beelzebub. Their origin is unclear. The texts take the existence of demons for granted. I've read this New Testament several times. I don't understand where they're getting any of this. And we're just going to have to go through the Bible this year. I mean, this here, I have no idea. 30-some years of research, I have no idea what these writers at Wikipedia are talking about. Many early Christians, like Irenaeus, Justin Martyr, Clement of Alexandria, and Lactantius, assumed demons were ghosts of the Nephilim. Known from intertestamental writings because of references to Satan as the Lord of demons and evil angels of Satan throughout the New Testament. Other scholars identified fallen angels with demons. This is just people's trying to interpret all this stuff. They have no idea what they're reading. Demons are entirely evil entities who have been born evil, may not fit the proposed origin of evil and free will, taught in alternate or opposing theologies. And it's not taught in that theology either. Here we go. Pseudepigrapha and deuterocanonical books. Oh, Jesus Christ. Demons are included in biblical interpretation. No shit. That's what you've just been talking about. In the story of Passover. Story of Passover is about meditation. In the story of Passover, the Bible tells the story as the Lord struck down all the firstborn in Egypt. It's talking about meditation and going to no thought. The Passover, Exodus 12:21 through 29. In the book of Jubilees, which is considered canonical only by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, This same event is told slightly differently. All the powers of the demon Mastema had been let loose to slay all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. And the powers of the Lord did everything according as the Lord commanded them. Jubilees 49, 2 through 4. And the Genesis flood narrative, the author explains how God was noticing how corrupt the earth had become. Thoughts! For all the people on earth had corrupted their ways in their mind. Genesis 6:12. In Jubilees, the sins of men are attributed to the unclean demons who began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah and to make error and destroy them. In Jubilees, Mastema questions the loyalty of Abraham and tells God to bid him offer him as a burnt offering on the altar, pineal gland, and thou wilt see if he will do this command. Jubilees 17:16. The discrepancy between the story in Jubilees and the story in Genesis 22 exists with the presence of Mastema. And I'm going to look this up. In Genesis, God tests the will of Abraham merely to determine whether he is a true follower. However, in Jubilees, Mastema has an agenda behind promoting the sacrifice of Abraham's son, an even more demonic act than that of Satan in Job. In Jubilees, where Mastema, an angel tasked with tempting mortals into sin and iniquity, requests that God give him a tenth of the spirits of the children of the Watchers, demons, in order to aid the process. Giving the 10%, the left hemisphere of the brain, your thoughts. The demons are thoughts. These demons are passed into Mastema's authority, where once again an angel is in charge of demonic spirits. I'm checking the time because I can only put hour videos on TikTok. And I'd like to be able to post these parts. But this is getting good. It is cold out here. Maybe there's demons around. In the Testament of Solomon, written sometime in the first 3 centuries, sometime it was written, the demon Asmodeus explains that he is the son of an angel and a human mother. We all are. Demons are thoughts. They are all sons of angels of light and a human mother. The Testament of Solomon. Testament. Ment is mind. Testa is testes. Testa, mind. Meditation, chakras. Solomon, sun and moon. The Testament of sun and moon. The demon explains he is the son of an angel and a human mother. These stories are not literal. Another demon describes himself as having died in the massacre in the Age of Giants. Beelzebul, the prince of demons, appears as a fallen angel, not as a demon, but makes people worship demons as their gods, and most people are worshiping their thoughts and emotions as gods. And they don't know they're doing it, and they don't understand the stories. And that's why I'm here. Since early Christianity, demonology has developed from a simple acceptance of demons to a complex study that has grown from the original ideas taken from Jewish demonology and Christian scriptures. Ideas taken. Christian demonology is studied in depth within the Roman Catholic Church, although many other Christian churches affirm and discuss the existence of demons. Building upon the few references to daimon in the New Testament, especially the poetry of the book of Revelation, Christian writers of Apocrypha from the 2nd century onwards created a more complicated tapestry of beliefs about demons that was largely independent of Christian scripture. While daimons were considered as both potentially benevolent or malevolent, Origen argued against Celsus that daemons are exclusively evil entities, supporting the later idea of evil demons. According to Origen's cosmology, increasing corruption and evil within the soul, the more estranged the soul gets from God. That goes without saying. Therefore, Origen opened that the most evil demons are located underground. Besides the fallen angels known from Christian scriptures, Origen talks about Greek daemons like nature spirits and giants. These creatures were thought to inhabit nature or air and nourish from pagan sacrifices roaming the earth. However, there is no functional difference between the spirits of the underworld and of earth, since both have fallen from perfection into the material world, as have we all. Origen sums them up as fallen angels and thus equal to demons. Human beings studying and contemplating on the basis that they are so special that stories couldn't be talking about them. Many ascetics, like Origen and Anthony the Great, I'm sure he was wonderful, describe demons as psychological powers, tempting to evil thoughts, in contrast to benevolent angels advising good, intuition. According to Life of Anthony, written in Greek around 360 by Athanasius of Alexandria, most of the time, the demons were expressed as an internal struggle, inclinations, and temptations. But after Anthony successfully resisted the demons, they would appear in human form to tempt and threaten him even more intensively. Because once you go down that journey of resistance through meditation, you gain control of your thoughts and emotions. People out there, they will show up with your old ways of thinking and try to bring you back into the fold. I experience this every day. Where are we at? All right. Look at this guy's name. Pseudo-Dionysius. Pseudo-Dionysius, the Areopagite, described evil as defiancy. It does not give evil an ontological existence. He explains demons are deficient creatures who willingly turn themselves towards the unreal and non-existence. Their dangerous nature results not from the power of their nature, but from their tendency to drag others into the void and the unreal away from God. Michael Sellos proposed the existence of several types of demons, deeply influenced by the material nature of the regions they dwell. The highest and most powerful demons attack the mind of people using their imaginative action, fantastikos in Greek, to produce illusions in the mind. The lowest demons, on the other hand, are almost mindless, gross, and grunting spirits, which try to possess people instinctively, simply attracted by the warmth and life of humans. All another reason to gain control of yourself. These cause diseases, fatal accidents, and animalistic behavior in their victims. They are unable to speak, while other lower types of demons might give out false oracles. The demons are divided into Lelioria, the highest demons who inhabit the ether beyond the moon. Aria, demons of the air below the moon. Chithonia, inhabiting the land. Hyrea, Inalia, dwelling in the water. By Poctbonia, they live beneath the earth. Mesophaeus, the lowest type of demon, blind and almost senseless in the lowest hell. That sounds like 6 classes of aliens to me. Invocation of saints, holy men and women, especially ascetics. Reading the gospel, holy oil or water is said to drive them out. Within you. However, Sello's schemes have been too inconsistent to answer questions about the hierarchy of fallen angels. The devil's position is impossible to assign in the scheme and does not respond to living perceptions of felt experience, and was considered rather impractical to have a lasting effect or impact on Christian demonology, because most of this is an interpretation of books that they don't understand what the stories are about. It is not based on living perceptions or felt experience. The contemporary Roman Catholic Church unequivocally teaches that angels and demons are real beings rather than just symbolic devices, because they do not want you to look at the symbolism and learn it. The Catholic Church has a cadre of officially sanctioned exorcists which perform many exorcisms each year. The exorcists of the Catholic Church teach that demons attack humans continually, but that inflicted persons can be effectively healed and protected either by the formal rite of exorcism, authorized to be performed only by bishops and those they designate, or by prayers of deliverance, which any Christian can offer for themselves or others, because you can't possibly do it on your own. They probably summoned whatever these things are in the first place. At various times in Christian history, attempts have been made to classify demons according to various proposed demonic hierarchies. In recent times, scholars doubted that independent demons exist and rather considers them akin to Jewish Satan to be servants of God. According to S.N. Chu, God has shown sending a demon against Saul in 1 Samuel 16 and 18 in order to punish him for the failure to follow God's instructions. Which is just a cause and effect, folks. There's no guy sending this because you did this or what. It's just a cause and effect of you not doing the instructions. According to the Britannica Concise Encyclopedia, demons, despite being typically associated with evil, are often shown to be under divine control and not acting of their own devices. What does it say about God? What does he say in the Bible? I create the light and I create the darkness. I bring the good and I bring the evil. God is neutral power, light, electricity. period. In Islamic beliefs, demons are roughly of two types, jinn and devils. Sayateen, Daiv. The jinn derived from pre-Islamic Arabian beliefs, although their exact origin is unclear. The presence of jinn in pre-Islamic Arabian beliefs is not only testified by the Quran, but also by pre-Islamic literature in the 7th century. The Sayateen, devils or Satans, on the other hand, appear in stories bearing similarities with Judeo-Christian tradition. Although virtually absent in the Quran, Muslims generally hold the belief that jinn can possess people, thoughts. In the tradition of Ash'ari, it has been considered to be part of the doctrines of the people of the Sunnah. For most theologians, and in contrast to philosophers, both demons, jinn, and devils and angels are considered to be material. All sentient beings are said to be created from a physical substance, angels from light, jinn from fire and air, devils from fire, and humans from earth. Interesting that we have all those elements or we wouldn't be here. We're not just dirt walking around. Because these stories are about within you, in your body, in your brains, in your electricity, in everything that makes up you, who you are, while you're alive. God is the God of the living, not the God of the dead. The Quran emphasizes similarities between humans and jinn. The Quranic phrase, al-ins wa al-jinn, puts the jinn to the same position as humans, and whereby also rejecting kinship with God. In contrast to demons from the biblical tradition, the jinn are not a source of evil. In the majority of Muslim writings, the jinn are ephemeral and shadowy creatures and primarily linked to magical practices, both white and black magic, though sometimes to disastrous effects. While the jinn are morally ambivalent, the Sayateen represent the malevolent forces akin to the devils of the Judeo-Christian tradition and are actively obstructing the execution of God's will. Because of that, they bear less resemblance to humans than the jinn. The latter share attributes with humans such as mortality, whereas the Sayateen do not. In Muslim popular culture, the Sayateen are sometimes depicted as Daiv. Muslim writers on astrology, identified the planetary spirits known from ancient Greek cosmology with 7 demon kings, often invoked for the preparation of magic squares. According to the Book of Wonders, each day of the week is assigned to one of the Ruheya Uliya, higher spirits, and Ruheya Sufala, lower spirits. It's talking about your 7 chakras, the 7 spirits, lower and higher. We're at 49 minutes for part 2. And there's not much left. I mean, there's enough left. We're going to go into some Hinduism. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back with part 3. This is It's Wakey Time. Demons. 1 year anniversary. Happy Halloween. The end of part 2. We'll be back in part 3.